Here is the 2024 BMW M340i in black sapphire metallic. This is not only a sweet spot for BMW, but it's the fastest variant in class compared to all of the rivals. One of the best in horsepower, almost the best in torque, and the 0 to 60 beats everybody. 127 horsepower more than the 330i, 87 pound-feet of torque more. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. Up front gets the sleek LED headlights that go into the iconic gloss black kidney grille. It's an active grille shutter. This was reworked last year along with the lower bumper that kind of has that boomerang look on the side, and it's more boxy and elegant. And when you're considering this over Mercedes, Audi, and Genesis, is the 52.3, 47.7 weight distribution. And then the next thing is what's housed underneath this hood. A 3.0 liter BMW M twin power turbo producing 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, achieving 23 and 31 mpgs. If you get the X drive, it's going to drop your 0 to 60 to 4.1 seconds. This is at 4.4 seconds, which is faster than every rival in its class. And when you're thinking about that Mercedes AMG C43, it has over 400 horsepower. But it's slower than this. Audi, less horsepower, same torque. Genesis is gonna have more torque. So finding that sweet spot, BMW has carved it out for you with these staggered 19-inch wheels. It's a 225/40 up front with a 235/35 out back. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S with red brake calipers up front that house 4 pistons, in which this is the M Sport brakes. A single floating caliper in the rear, so you're taken care of whether you're just using it for a daily or if you want to take it up onto the track. It's pretty much right there. The rear keeps the box look, aggressive lower with the diffuser, dual exhaust outlets, gloss black tips, trunk lid spoiler, and the boomerang LED taillights. The reason why this is a sweet spot is if you don't want to go full M competition, which gives you 503 horsepower, because you're getting an additional 30 horsepower for the competition. You go this route, you're only sacrificing a few tenths of a second, and you're saving $10,000 to $15,000. Quick release going into 17 cubic feet of storage. You have some storage nooks on both sides, bag holders, and you can split fold the rear bench in the back at a 60-40 split or a 40-20-40 split to increase the cargo to the M340. But this is an inline 6-cylinder M twin power turbo. We need to go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. Way power seat adjustment, heated front seats, manual cushion extensions, and memory for the driver. Headroom and leg room. Last year got the rework for the dashboard in the BMW Curve 1 panel with 2 screens, a 14.9 and a 12.3. 14.9 has gesture, swipe, pinch, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. Click on these 4 dots here so you can see all the apps we have. 5G, Wi-Fi capabilities. Put it into reverse. We have a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. 3D view, which you can use gesture, you can use the iDrive mouse, or you can simply touch. And for the car wash view, which is the best and makes it easier so you don't scratch those 19-inch staggered wheels. Dual climate control settings, the air vents were reworked. You get the satin aluminum and you get this aluminum mesh inserts. Heads-up display, auto-dimming rear view mirror with a moon roof. Working into a wireless charger, USB 12 volt, and inside the cup holders, we got the key fob for the M340i. The rocker was also implemented last year with the refresh and iDrive 8. You still get the mesh insert. It's going to be more sporty. It opens up into a medium-sized storage pocket with a USB port. Ambient lighting will be surrounding the lower part of the dash and the grab handles for the door. 3-spoke leather-wrapped steering wheel. It's heated M-Spec multi-function with the paddle shift. The 12.3 digital driver cluster can go through an array of information, so you can change out the content in the center. You can also change it by the modes. And it does the same thing for the heads-up display whenever you change it into sport mode. The door is going to have more of your everyday materials. It's going to soften up where right in here, more or less. One touch up and down for all the windows, and a storage pocket with the beverage holder carved out. For the back seats, I can still fit with headroom. Legroom is going to be a little bit more tight, but it's still doable. No storage behind any of the front seats, third climate control, USB ports, air vents in the center, cup holders with an armrest, and the door is going to have the same materials that's found in the front, ambient lighting surrounding the grab handle area with a large beverage holder and another area for maybe a cell phone. The floor is not completely flat, so pick your feet up. The rails are pushed up enough. If I'm driving, it's going to be a little bit tight for a third occupant, but it's still doable even though this comes inward. For headroom, still not too bad for anyone over 6 foot. Sport mode, we're going Sport Plus. 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. You know the routine, look at this. Because the tires are a little slick. Look at that, it just grips the road. Playful, exhaust filters in. Let's see this bend here. She is on point. And that's why having a near perfect 50 weight distribution is so important to these sports sedans, because you're getting such quick speeds at the 0 to 60, and then what happens when you need to take a corner? You can't. But with the BMW, downshift, grip, let it slide out. Oh, it's phenomenal. But we need to see that 0 to 60 at the 4.4 seconds, so we're going to stop right here before the next, and here we go. Wake up the whole neighborhood. You just feel more confident with the Beamer because of how tight everything is when you're taking the maneuvers. Put it back in comfort and knowing you what happened. It's kind of one of those fly underneath the radar, but because of the style on the exterior, it's still loud. That's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is you're getting performance at a bargain if you do not option it up. Once you start optioning it up, that takes me to a con, because now you're entering territories that are so close to the M3, you might as well go that route. But then you're going to want to do the competition. That's going to be a few grand more. So then you start thinking, do I need extra for the technology? Do I need upgrades on the exterior or the interior? Some other pros about the vehicle is when they reworked the vehicle last year for the LCI, everything fits flush. I was skeptical that this one panel curved screen would just be too large, but it fits perfectly fine. The only disadvantage or con that I see is if they would have reworked the dash a little bit better, it would have went directly inside the dash, making it a little bit more unique than just a curved screen. That's just comfort. And the biggest plus for the M340i is the bargain that you're getting, because you can get this pretty inexpensive when you're comparing it to a Mercedes-AMG C43 sedan. I'm not going to go crazy. And if you're comparing it against the Audi, it's going to be a few grand more, but you're still getting more performance underneath the hood. Going against the Genesis G70, that twin turbo is no joke, All of the vehicles are very close in the 0 to 60, but like I was saying on the exterior, the weight distribution really changes it up. The aesthetics on this just looks dynamic, where everyone knows that this is a sports sedan. When you get into the Genesis, I like the grille. It does grow onto you. It's a little bit more open and wide because it takes the whole fascia. So at the beginning, I could see people where they're saying, I don't like it because it just covers up the whole front. And it's not that long of a vehicle either, nor is it wide. You can make the steering have a little bit more response. Some people don't necessarily like how soft the steering has become with the BMW line, especially when you get into the M variants. But when you're in the M Sport or M340i, it really isn't that bad because it adds a little bit of weight to it. And for the everyday, it's light enough so you're not having to worry about feeling heavy or tired. The seats are comfortable. It's going to be more sporty. The biggest problem or con that I have when you get into the M340i, I feel the X-Drive should be standard, only to make it a little bit more traction, because when you start getting an intelligent all-wheel drive system, it really works hand in hand, making it a lot easier for cornering purposes, and you don't have to worry as much for warming up your tires because all of the tires are going to be working for you instead of all the power just coming from the rear wheels. Any of the sedans that you buy, you're already understanding that the ride is going to be more sporty, but you're getting the luxury amenities in the interior. It's still quiet enough and composed. If you want to hear the exhaust though, you're gonna have to throw it into sport. For me, it's a little bit of a con, but you can add an active exhaust note, so that way it will pump inside a little bit more so, or just drive it in sport. Turn radius, it's gonna be tight. It's about 1.5 lanes, and it's always nice to hear the exhaust filter in. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2024 BMW M340i for our car review.